audits are different types. Last class I have discussed non-compliance. What do you mean by non-compliance is if an industry is not following the environmental law, then it comes under non-compliance. Today's class is compliance audit. It is opposite of that. An organization is following all the process of environment, then it is called compliance. So there are two types of audit. You can see compliance audit and internal audit. The basic difference between compliance. Now, the definition of compliance means if the organization follows the outside law, government law. What are the government laws? Clean Air Act and Water Act. So they have different types of acts. If the company is following all those acts, then it comes under compliance. Now, what do you mean by internal audit? So there are two types. There are 6 types of audit. I have told you in first class. Even though I am telling the difference between compliance act and audit, internal audit. What do you mean by internal audit is it evaluates their organization own criteria. Imagine in your college they provide internal in particular date. That means say for example next month 17, 18 and 19. But in different college they will follow different dates. Yes or no? Even though VTU provides the rules that there should be 3 internal assessment. But for every colleges it changes because their internal policy is different and evaluates their own code of conduct. So some companies start at 8:30, some companies start at 9 o'clock, like that. They have some own norms. It is called internal audit. So this is the difference between compliance and internal audit. Generally, if a company, an organization has compliance audit, that means it has comprehensive review. They are reviewing comprehensively in all aspects of process, and if it adheres according to regulation, then they will give certificates. What are different certificates? ISO is one of the certificate. Then like that you have number of certificates for an organization. The environmental compliance certificate. So they might get strength and thoroughness of compliance, preparation, security policies, user access control. What are the things they evaluate? Now, these are the difference between internal audit and compliance audit. So the internal audit covers overall risk of compliance and security. If an organization is frequently providing internal audit, what is the outcome they will get? Their environmental policy will get refined. So they will get less non-compliance. So last class I discussed how to reduce non-compliance is providing management review, providing internal audit. So internal audit, if you are making it, what happens? The non-compliance rate will get reduced and increase the compliance and security. So throughout the financial year, this is meant by financial year, throughout the year you can make internal audit and identify the improved areas. What do you mean by external audit? In definition is formal compliance audit is independent and third party. The external audit is given by third party. That means what? Government, independent agencies. So they will be providing internal audits. They might come from state government. They might come from central government. In US, what they say instead of central government? They say federal. So in India they say central government. In US they say federal government. So state and federal or corporate regulations, rules and standards, they will check and they will provide. Now, last slide I have discussed compliance audit. Now this title is what? Environmental compliance audit. So compliance audit is different, a broader way. Smaller way is called environmental compliance. What are the environmental guidelines they follow? This means the company is being evaluated only for environmental needs. ISO I have told in last class, how many types of ISOs are there? ISO 9001, ISO 14001, ISO 19011, number of ISOs are there. But environmental compliance audit particularly involves in environmental parameters. That means if an environmental compliance audit is done, they will give ISO 14001. The relevant ISO will be given to an organization. So it is independent evaluation, environmental legal requirements. If they do not follow emission standards, then effluent standards, then waste disposal standards, this will be evaluated during the environmental complaints audit. So this is a tool to evaluate the companies to qualify for environmental parameters. Before they give ISO 14001 certificate, they will be doing environmental complaints audit. They will check that what are the things they will check: regulations and laws, whatever is given by government. Second thing is internal guideline, what they follow, control policies and procedure. These things they will evaluate, and if failure to comply that environmental complaints audit, there will be penalties. So they might call for an audit. The organization should call for an audit to the government. When they are coming, if they are not satisfactory, they can give certificate or they can give penalties. Both the things they can get. So calling an audit is not an issue. After calling, if your laws, regulations, policies are not met, you will be fined. Financial penalties can also happen. Also criminal prosecution can also happen. So when calling for audit, we should be making sure that we comply on environmental aspect. Yes. Next, what are the environmental laws? So I have told you environmental complaints. What are the laws regarding environment is Clean Air Act. An organization, if they are starting an industry, they should know what is Clean Air Act. This I have discussed in module 2. You can refer. Clean Water Act. They should not pollute the water, river water, air, etc. Then Safe Drinking Water Act. If they are consuming the water and they are disposing it in landfills, what happens? The groundwater will get polluted and the people will not get safe drinking water. So this is an act for safe drinking water. Comprehensive Environmental Response Compensation Liability Act. If an industry is constantly cutting trees, they should follow this act. So this act says that how much of trees if they cut, they should replace with the same amount of trees. So this is one of the example I am discussing. So this should be complied. Toxic Substance Act, etc. So these are different acts. During an environmental complaints audit, they will check either the company is following all this environmental act. So what is the process? So there are three processes in environmental complaints audit. Generally, they have to follow ISO 19011 for audit. In that, they have three steps. What are they? Preliminary stage, during evaluation, and post audit stage. So there are three stages which I will explain. Environmental complaints audit process is conducted by external and independent auditors. Who will come for auditing? I told in last class. University professors, National Laboratory, IISc, and DRDO is a national laboratory. What is DRDO? This is called DRDO. They are purely a research organization. From there, people might come for audit. So they are not a private organization people. This means there will be no business, financial or personal interest to them. So they will come for the audit. And they will check all the data during the visit and analyze and compare them with the criteria. So what are the steps? Three steps. This is what I told. Pre-audit. What do you mean by pre-audit is? Imagine if an organization is coming for an audit. For how many days the audit will be there in the sense? For some organization it might take 1 week. For some organization they may take 3 weeks. And they have given certifications and accreditations. They took 3 days. For some organization they may take 1 week. Some large organizations are there, even for 1 month they can do for an audit. So like that the companies are very large. So according to the size of the organization, they will take the time. Have you heard Walmart? Walmart organization. It is a mall, shopping mall. It is very familiar in US. Their organization is very large. If they want to review that organization, they will take 1 month of audit, then they will finish. Imagine in India, Reliance Industry. If they want to give ISO for Reliance Industry, how many days it will take? You imagine? They are giving cell phone facilities in all the states, no? In all the places. So when they want to check that, it takes a large time. That means they have to take some pre-audit. What do you mean by pre-audit is, before going to an industry, they will check what are the environmental consequence will come to that organization. I will give you an example. One company is educational institution. Another company is a paint industry. If the auditors are going to visit educational institution, will they going to check hazardous waste act for a college? Does college produce hazardous waste? No. We are not going to use any toxic substance. So it is irrelevant for a college. But when you are going to a paint industry, you should not too much bother on paper waste. So how much paper they print, how much paper waste they produce, biodegradable waste they produce, it is not a matter. Paint industry is a matter of what? Inorganic solvents, inorganic chemicals, hazardous waste. So before an auditor goes into a auditing process, they will check what are the relevant acts, they will screen that. So auditors will determine whatever laws, policies and procedure applicable to that business. If they are visiting to software organization, will they going to bother on hazardous waste, air emission, water effluent? No. The software companies will be dealing on electronic waste. So the relevant electronic laws and regulations are applicable to them. So they will work on to that before the audit. So this is called pre-audit. So auditor must establish the criteria. What are the things they are going to audit tomorrow? The environmental issues applicable to laws and regulations, whatever recent happened. Second one is on-site audit. That means before an audit, they will say that we are going to come to your company on December 7th to December 9th. They will say the date. On these 3 dates, they will go to the company. Before that also, they will check their documents. During the visit, they will go and whatever is suspicious, whatever they find is not compliant, they will go and visit that place. And they will check what is the process they are following, what are the emissions, how they are following without waste minimization. What are they doing? They will be checking those things during a visit. They will check guidelines, policies and procedure, how they are keeping their record and monitoring, etc. Now checking and observations, inquiry will be done with all the workers and employers and they will collect the record. So site visit is to collect record. In that 3 days, they will collect whatever record they get. They are not going to dig into deep. They will collect the records in this 3 days and then they will go. And after going, they will be taking a post audit. Post audit is, they will check whatever laws are there, what the companies are following, how much process they follow, they will calculate, and 250 ppm is the limit of emission in the sense, they will check the limit, then they will come with the result. During the post audit only, they will say that either your company is fully compliant. Fully compliance means you are following all the environmental rules. Next, partial compliance means, okay, you are following the process but not enough. You should do these things. They will give the comments. They will categorize. And in an event of non-compliance, if the company is not complying, they will suggest the improvement for an organization, what to be done. These things are the third step. Now, next thing is benefits of compliance audit. If a company calls for an audit, what are their benefits? First thing is safeguarding the environment. If an ISO certified organization is there, then they will not harm the environment. ISO 14001 verifies compliance, either they are doing the process, whatever is fine or not, find critical and future problems. If they are going to follow the same process throughout the year, they might harm the environment. So The audit will says that what is your current trend and future problems might happen. These things by reading you can understand the benefits of environment. So next part, first half of this class is over. Second part is waste audit. What was the previous topic? Environmental compliance audit. This topic is waste audit. Waste audit is an organization, while doing a process, they will produce some waste. How to do a waste audit is dealt in this topic. So physical analysis of waste composition. In waste audit, there are certain steps to do waste audit. They will sort it out first. What are the waste from an industry? They will use a mechanical means to sort. What do you mean by sorting out? Separating. Sorting out is separating. An industry is getting some waste, they will separate organic waste, paper waste, decomposable waste, non-decomposable waste, metallic waste, etc. So like that, waste audit will detail whatever waste they get and then they will sort it out. Establish baseline or benchmark. During the waste audit, they will get the benchmark, what they should set, characterize and quantify waste streams. These things are basics of waste audit. Yes. To determine the waste audit, these are the following steps. First thing is plan the audit and determine the area where you should go for waste audit. Collect the waste to be examined, sort the waste by category and analyze the data. These are the 4 steps. They prevent the environmental waste. Next thing, they divert. What do you mean by divert is, after doing the waste audit, they will check that certain products can be decomposable. They will do decomposition process and they will use it as compost. Certain things are waste recycling. Recycling is metals. Metals are recyclable. Steel, aluminium, these are all recyclable. Some plastics are recyclable. What they do is, during the waste audit, they separate all the waste, and if it is recyclable, they will take into recycling plant. And source separated, composting and anaerobic digestion. That means whatever decomposable things are there, they will take into decomposition. While decomposition, what they can manufacture? Methane gas. How methane gas are manufactured? By decomposition process. You take all vegetables and fruits and put it in a container and you put a small hole. During the decomposition process, a gas evolves, which is called methane. This you can collect it separately and you can use it for further purpose. Like that, the diversion you have to do. From an industry, if more organic wastes are there, you can make it a aerobic chamber. Imagine hotel industries, they can do it. Hotel industries, what type of waste they produce constantly? Digestible waste, food waste. So for hotels, in your hostel you have kitchens, no? Daily they are going to produce food waste. So they can collect and keep it in a container. What happens? The decomposition will happen. You can get methane gas from that. So this is diversion. Thermal treatment and energy recovery. So this is called disposal. Certain wastes are combustible. You can burn that. You can burn and use it for further purpose. So this is called disposal and you can use it as energy. Thermal recovery, landfill without energy conversion. Final thing is landfill. First priority thing is waste reduction. So like that you can do waste audit. Waste audit is not only quantifying how much waste they produce. It is a process of separating and using it for other purpose. Yes. There are 3 things has to be done in waste audit. First one is planning stage. In planning and determining the study area, there they should find the source of generation. The waste audit, where the source of this waste comes from, they should identify first. Next thing is 1 or 2 possible things you can find and you can maintain, clean or purchasing, etc. You can do it for waste minimization. You can change the raw material. If certain waste has to be minimized, you can do process change, you can do material change, like that. So you have to find the source first. Walk through the facility. That means in an industry you just go through for a walk and you can find the planning for different types of waste and location. Second thing is to collect waste. First one is plan. You go to a site and then you collect some samples. While collecting the samples, you can do sorting out, clear instructions, what are the types of waste for this audit, and third thing is you can sort. The types of waste quantities which I have discussed already. How you can quantify the waste audit is, this is the basic formula. How much material you purchased, they will be getting in accounts. So if they purchased 1000 tons of wood, they can calculate the weight, no? Then how much waste is produced, how they can calculate is how much material purchased minus materials in product. They will be making some product. Imagine they are making doors. Doors are completely made of wood. So they have to purchase wood, they have to make doors, then they have to sell. So they will check how much doors they have sold. They will calculate. For single door, what is the weight they can calculate, and total sale product they will calculate. And whatever is rest is called waste. Totally they have purchased woods. These much products they have produced. Rest is called waste. So they cannot weight all the waste. So it is an indirect process plus material unused. So you can find the unused waste or by directly weighting the waste. So it is a difficult process. You cannot directly weight the waste. By this thing you can sort it out and you can find the trend of the organization. Then you can provide a separate Excel sheet. How much of waste is degradable, like that you can sort it out. Now, next thing is waste minimization. After doing the waste audit, you can do minimization. How to minimize? There are 5 phases to waste minimization. So which I will explain. Waste minimization aims to prevent waste from source. There is a hierarchy. How to make waste minimization? First thing is source reduction. Is the best way to do the waste minimization. Then you can do reduce, recycle, reuse. Finally is called disposal. So this hierarchy you can follow. Other thing is you can redesign products and changing societal patterns. Whatever design you are using, you can change it. Yes, this is the approach. How to do waste minimization? First thing is to prevent. Do not manufacture this waste. Second thing is reduce. Even if you have manufactured, imagine plastic bags. We know that we should not use plastic bags even though they manufacture. What you should do is at least use less microgram of plastic. That is their GSM. Less than certain GSM are not affectable. So you can use reduce. Reuse. The same product you can reuse in order to waste minimize. The next thing is recycle. After consuming you can recycle, recover, final is disposal. This hierarchy you can follow. This is an approach to waste minimization. Phases. There are 5 phases for waste minimization. Immediately you cannot reduce all the waste. First phase is called extensive uncontrolled dumping. What do you mean by dumping? Waste are stored in a place. It is called dumping. So first phase is to control. The uncontrolled dumping has to be controlled. So there should be a dumping place in order to minimize the waste. There should be a proper waste management collection. The BBMP have waste management collection, no? Early morning they come and collect all the waste. So where they should dump, certain areas you can see the waste is not at all been collected. It will be like that for weeks. So first thing, if you want to minimize waste is, you should provide proper management of waste collection. There should be a bins for collection. And recyclable materials such as metals and plastics can be a resource cycle. And second is reliable collection and better landfill sites. You should choose a landfill site. It should not be coming under residential area. Waste dumping site should be apart from residential area, near some rural areas or near forest areas. It should be a reliable collection. Properly they should manage landfills. If you are dumping directly onto the soil will get affected. So there should be a membrane, a geomembrane. Whatever waste is being dumped there, it will penetrate during a rainfall, it will penetrate to soil. So it should be collected in that membrane, and the hazardous waste to be collected to leachate pool. So this is what the second step. This will be a place for giving employment potential also. Third thing is separate collection and sorting. How you can do is by making high graded recycling process. You can compress all the waste, the mechanical separation stages, screens, separators, and efficient hand picking. By this method you can separate. Fourth one is expanding the recycling industry. This is the place where most of us are lagging. What we have to do is, whatever is regular industry, we should identify and target those waste generation into resources. This is where the developed countries and developing countries difference. So identify the red or identified industries which is available in website. You can check it. They should expand the recycling industry. Whatever high types of waste are there, you can collect and you can make it into a recycling products. High quality monofractions. What do you mean by monofractions? Are same products, similar products of waste are there, then you can collect. One of the example is fly ash. Steam or thermal power plant produces ashes. So what cement industry has done is, they collected all those ashes and then they sold fly ash cement. Fly ash cement is much lesser. If you want to buy cement, there are two types of cement. One is ordinary cement, second one is fly ash cement. Ordinary cement rate is 370 rupees, but you buy fly ash cement 300 rupees. How they manufacture that cement? By collecting the waste from that steam or thermal power plant. They take the resource from the thermal power plant. So this is how the industry gets expanded. Currently fly ash is being mostly utilized in India, but before 30 or 35 years, they don't have fly ash cement. They only had ordinary Portland cement. So during the technology evolution, the recycling industry dominated. Then they used the products for other things. You can compost or use as biogas of all the organic waste, etc. So whatever residual waste, you can burn it in incinerators. Incinerators are for burning process. Then last slide is circular economy. By making the resource or recycling, you can create an economy or generate economy out of that. So in Central Pollution Control Board website, how much money they generated from the waste, the statistics is available. You can check from that, and circular economy is created. By recycling and energy recovery, you can create circular economy. You can generate funds.